This is stalking by the Ontario International Airport, and this is on whose behalf third parties who reek of urine are stalking the people of the state. They get out of their cars where they're stalking with light outside to pace around me where they're stalking with light inside on behalf of the government, and they do so offending my senses, smelling like urine, and then asking me questions when you're stalking. You know exactly what's going on my phone as a demon, as a vagina monitor, as a state actor who's engaging in state surveillance. The entity that's engaging in this gang stalking, doing so at the OVITT Family Community Library, as I documented, Rosa and her gang stalking children who are over and under the age of majority, engaged in psychopathic behavior, pacing just like they are now in the sky space and on the roads and the highways. That's what they're doing inside of this building. This building that has my shadow up right in front of me right now, while there's no light bulbs above my head, even though that wouldn't explain that. And demons are stalking an engineered light in the engineered environment with the entity that is stalking as a government system. And you're asking me questions that you already know the answer to in this light activity. Asking me if I'm filming you and you're monitoring my device. That's the audible activity of a psychopath. A psychopath that engages in things such as the deranged behavior of stalking in commercial planes. But these urine-reeking third parties can't afford planes. That's the state that's engaging in that. And they're engaging in what is gang violence inside of the library and engaging in what I published on X. That's relevant for what is harassment. And the government's going to be prosecuted for the harassment of the third parties who are gang stalking, just like this. Because this is what they're doing. Rosa's sons pacing back and forth and back and forth and back and forth like psychopaths. This is what the entity's doing in the sky space. I just want to be clear. They are going to federal prison. Assault and battery with a knife and a dangerous vehicle. A dangerous weapon. The psychopath that's also gang stalking me on behalf of the state, they're going to federal prison. And they share in mental illness. This is psychopathic behavior. There's not even any airport over here. So they're maintaining ongoing plane activity for little old me. And for my genitalia between my legs, they're using planes and spending thousands of dollars every day on keeping me under surveillance. And then they are engaging in what is harassment while the filthy demons that are gang stalking me with these psychopaths on the inside of the venue are doing so in an absurd environment with regard to sharing mental illness and asking me stupid questions that you know the answer to because you're embarrassed to be a vagina monitor, a stalker. Who smells like urine? Those are the feces consumers stalking in commercial planes and helicopters as well. You smell like urine because your brain is decayed. That's why you're gang stalking me. Gang stalking in commercial planes. And any federal court is going to prosecute and shut down the airport because there are no airports, no terminals behind the Ontario City Hall. The entity is engaging in this conduct, and it is directly incriminating the urine and feces reeking third parties that are stalking me at the OVITT Family Community Library, where the entity is stalking with commercial planes. You're asking me questions about whether I'm filming you, and you're monitoring my vagina and my device. And you're doing so having the audacity while you smell like urine. That's the entity that's engaging in that pattern of conduct, and they're doing so as a means of harassment while you are, in every regard, in need of being committed. And that's exactly what's going to happen to the gang stalking pilots and to the gang stalking demons that are engaging in what is defecating and peeing on themselves while they're stalking me. These filthy bastards are going to prison and they're going to be committed. Stalking with light, they're going to be committed. Stalking in planes and helicopters, they're going to be committed. Stalking under a fake sun and stalking with all means of light, like I'm showing you the city of Ontario is doing, they're going to be committed. This is P.O.C. That's a psychopath, the type that smells of feces and urine and is stalking me and then gets an attitude when I am documenting that vagina monitor. That's what's in California. That's what has the audacity to try to defame someone else. That's what's going to federal prison. This is P.O.C. This is relevant to the harassment. You'll see it published on X, where the entity is engaging in surveillance, removing my evidence off of and blocking my account with regard to what's supposed to be innocent conduct when you shouldn't even know where I'm at or what my account is. That's the entity that's asking me stupid questions. I'm going to prosecute you with that audible activity. This is what you have when you have welfare recipients with no education and poor hygiene gang stalking me because I'm going to embarrass you and prosecute you with even those details. This is the pattern of conduct at the OVITT Family Community Library, where they're all monitoring in between my legs and know exactly what it is that I'm documenting. And while they speak as the state, they're going to federal prison just like the state actors are themselves. That's psychopathic pacing into the garage, like they're engaging in psychopathic pacing at the library. They're doing so in engineered light. Psychopaths that do so under the fake sun that I've shown you day and night at this venue, where my shadow is appearing in front of me on this sign, and you have the audacity to ask me a stupid question. I'm going to absolutely embarrass you on the internet. And that's the state speaking. The psychopaths that are stalking in planes and helicopters, that's the state. The mentally, the incompetent, the corrupt, the demon-possessed psychopaths who need to be put on the map. They're sex traffickers, they're murderers, they're stalkers, and they're thieves. And they're engaging in gang violence. They are a group of the inept. And they are being not only humiliated, they're being federally prosecuted. This is evidence of the severe mental instability and the corruption that's underway. And you already know what's going on my device when you're being documented. And for the state to be stalking and also asking me questions that you know the answer to, that's a state actor that's going to federal prison. And you're going to be committed. You will be mentally diagnosed with the ongoing malicious audible activity that betrays you and shows the mental illness that you've been trying to conceal. This is P.O.C. While the government is stalking by planes, the people of the state gang stalking with those psychopaths as a state actor are sharing in that pattern of conduct, and everything coming out of the third parties' mouths who are smelling like urine is the state speaking, and it's the state stalking, and it's the state threatening. This is POC at the OVITT Family Community Library. It's currently 9:51 p.m.